Well, if Nintendo won't, why don't we? What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce, and we're here bringing you a Weekend Direct Micro, a show that compiles all the best things that happened last week and looks ahead to what's coming next. We've got the best things to play on Switch, the biggest announcements, the most important news both on and off the radar, a question for you to ponder, a sale to check out, and the things that get us excited in the coming 7 days. I hope you're all having a fantastic weekend and looking forward to Monday morning, which I know can be a drag, but at the same time, it can also be a fresh start. Let's start with the best thing to play on Switch this week, which is the Little Nightmares 2 demo. This game is one of my most anticipated titles for all of 2021. I'm not talking about just smaller games, indie games. I'm talking all games. You see, Little Nightmares 1 was an absolute home run in terms of vibe and atmosphere, delivering tactile gameplay and introducing us to the oh-so-creepy Muppets Gone Wrong boss-type characters. Well, they're back and seemingly badder than ever, requiring you to evade, not just avoid. And Little Nightmares 2 promises to be a bigger world. The demo shows that off by taking you inside and outside and adding on a cooperative character. But it's lonely co-op, one of my favorite genres, where you don't need a friend. The game is your friend, or maybe not. There's so much eeriness, mystery, and intrigue in Little Nightmares 2. I can't wait to see where they go. The demo shows off the controls and, again, that world-class atmosphere, but it doesn't give away too much. And I'm super curious to see all the locales that they take us to in LN2. One was centered around this giant ship. Lots of different rooms and compartments, but it all had a consistent, congruent feel. Now out in the open world, how will they utilize that expansion to fuel their storytelling and keep their gameplay very fun? It still looks, sounds, and feels stellar, and in the demo, we get a quick glimpse of one of the creepy cretins, and I'm not sure if it's a human or if it's some sort of marionette amalgamation. There is stitching popping out, fluff flying about, and this is a free demo. It'll take you about 20 minutes, so definitely give it a go. 2 just announced titles caught my eye this week, the first being The Pedestrian, which is a very clever puzzle game where you play as the dude on the walk and do not walk sign, traversing other street signs in quirky platforming puzzles. It's a weird concept, but it's gotten rave reviews on Steam, and I love the look. It's coming to the PlayStation family of consoles in a couple of weeks, but they did confirm it'll hit Switch sometime soon. We don't have a date, but it's one to absolutely earmark. We also have Tunnel of Doom, which is an interesting hybrid of roguelite action and tower defense. It reminds me a bit of Moonlighter, combining an overworld storyline with an underworld purpose, mixing together a few different genre elements beneath the roguelite umbrella. It's releasing in Q2 2021, and while I prefer the Tunnel of Love, Tunnel of Doom does look promising. I will say the developer's pedigree is completely unknown to me. Gun Bombers, has anyone played that? I haven't ever heard of it, but I'm hopeful this one can be a fun title to add to the eShop in a couple of months. In non-Switch news, I watched WandaVision, and I was told I wouldn't like it at all, but I'm finding myself intrigued. I kind of like this whole we're not telling you what the heck is actually happening, you figure it out motif, and I find myself really eager for the next episodes. Have you guys seen it, and what do you think? The biggest Switch news of the week is absolutely Nintendo's deep dive into Bowser's Fury, a wholly separate adventure. Wow, that's like a big surprise to me, and not just the level pack that I was expecting. You've got Fury Bowser and Cat Mario going toe-to-toe, or claw-to-claw, or gigantic Godzilla to King Kong, and I'm really excited to see how huge the adventure actually is. We know Bowser is big, but Nintendo did describe the adventure as a short one, so I'm expecting a couple hours of gameplay. But the scope looks impressive, and the fact that they created something totally new, I love that. It reminds me of the dreams and predictions we had for Mario Odyssey DLC, something we never quite got. But this feels like a fantastic alternative, and I cannot wait to collect cat shines with all of you on February 12th. What flew under the radar, though, was an update from Platinum Games on Bayonetta 3, a title that was announced in 2017, and we've seen nothing since. It's not a super official update, though it did come from Kamiya's mouth during a stream, so it's gotta be accurate. And he said we will be seeing, or hearing, or getting some sort of Bayonetta 3 update during 2021. Now, does that just mean the next trailer? A reveal of how big the game ended up being, or more? Nintendo has put announcements, reveals, and releases very close together as of late, and perhaps they're planning the same for Bayonetta 3. It's been 3 years since we last saw this title, even more now that we're into 2021, and I think fans are just ready for something, anything. The confirmation that the game is still being worked on and still is coming and might be closer than we think given his, hey, we're saying something in 2021, is exciting. And they also say they have more projects to discuss. I've seen Astral Chain 2 thrown around, but it would be hilarious if that game released before Bayonetta 3, given how long it's been since the Game Awards 2017. But with the news knocked out, here's a question for you all to ponder. Big corporations are making acquisitions in the video game space much more frequently, and we hear that Microsoft, Sony, Google, and Amazon are eagerly scouring to see who they can swallow up. Nintendo doesn't typically work this way, and I don't expect them to make a major acquisition anytime soon. They did buy Next Level Games and officially incorporate them into the fold, which is fantastic because that might mean Mario Strikers sometime soon. But if Nintendo did decide to get a little goofy, a little greedy, and go after another video game developer, who would you love to see Nintendo acquire and make Switch exclusive? For Sony and Microsoft, Sega and Capcom are the names often thrown around, and we know that Microsoft recently acquired Bethesda, and that's a big move. Nintendo, who would they grab? Now this would never happen, but what if BioWare just fell completely out of favor with EA? They have completely murdered Mass Effect, and Dragon Age doesn't deliver. Nintendo scoops up the RPG kings, former kings, and helps them return to the throne with some Nintendo polish. I'd love to see that style and scope of game exclusive to Switch, because we don't really have anything of that sort that is a Switch-only title. And with the rumored Switch Pro probably coming soon, bigger, bolder graphics could be amazing, and maybe Nintendo could help cross over some characters with BioWare, some big Nintendo RPGs, Super Mario RPG 2? Man, that would be so freaking fun. With these new shows and the amount of tea I'm drinking, I'm going through mugs left and right, so I'm looking to expand my collection. I love Disney, big fan of Nintendo, but if you guys have any must-have mugs, DM me on Twitter or Discord. Okay, sale of the week. There are so many to pick from because Nintendo recently dropped their New Year's sale. And I've got a full video on the channel if you want to see all of my picks, but the number one choice has to be Control. Control, you didn't even know that was on Switch? It is via a cloud version, so you gotta make sure you have good internet. But at 30% off $27.99, being able to play Remedy Games' latest title on the Switch is fantastic. Throw that thing in performance mode and it's gonna purr. It plays well, it looks well, and provided you have the internet connection, it's going to be a very comparable experience to what you'd have on other platforms. It's a fantastic game, and I don't think anyone could have quite predicted that we'd be talking about Control on Switch as the top sale of the week. Okay, but let's look ahead. This past week was absolutely jam-packed, with Nintendo dropping news on Twitter like it was some sort of snowstorm. Bowser's Fury, new Pokemon Snap, and we even had a ton of Pokemon-related rumors and a potential Poke presentation in February. I'm not sure next week will be as crazy crowded, but hey, maybe Nintendo is doling out what would have been in a Direct, just now via social media. And if that's the case, it seems like there are more games nearing announcement, so I'd be very excited for that. But also, Animal Crossing New Horizons. We're probably due for the January update trailer, and this is a big one, because I feel like that game is just about over in terms of big hoopla and hype. Now, new players, I'm sure you're having a ton of fun, but in terms of the hardcore, it feels like we've reached a breaking point. This update needs to deliver, as many of us are getting burnt out and a bit bored. Fantastic game, phenomenal value, thousands of hours of fun, but Nintendo would do right if they started 2021 by bringing a big, bold, bombastic update with Brewster and more to ACNH. And this is their shot to do it. I'm not sure when we'll see the trailer specifically, but the last update said the new one would be hitting late January, so we're really approaching that time frame, and I'm so curious to see how Nintendo handles their biggest game of 2020, their biggest game of all time in Japan, their best physical dollar sales year for a title since Wii Fit Plus in 2010. Did they give it the TLC it deserves, or did they merely let it pass with tiny little updates. We'll have to find out, and hopefully we will. You know I've got you covered on Good Morning Mario. I can't wait for another week of awesome episodes with everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know what you're excited for next week. Go check out the Little Nightmares 2 demo if you've got the time, and give a look to that control cell if you're interested. But that'll do it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, definitely leave a like. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart out there. And until next time, everybody, SwitchForce out.